So here it is, the first halfway decent day since I got back from vacation. And yeah, it's been raining and occasionally snowing pretty much non-stop. So I figured we'd come out here to Whatcom Falls Park and see if we can find the old trestle. It's kind of a low-grade expedition, but you know, hey, what the heck, something to do. And we're using the Fuji because I couldn't find the damn GoPro today. Work with what you got. So there's our first view of the trestle, going over Whatcom Creek. Little duck pond here. We're just up above the falls. More to follow. Apparently this is where you fish for juveniles. Good to know. Seems to be quite well stocked this time of year.
Yeah.
Got a large rugrat infestation. Did I mention it's been raining a lot recently? The creek is definitely up. There's Whatcom Falls itself. I'm pretty sure this chute here is the bypass from the fish hatchery. Maybe. Looking down the canyon. Still a little muddy out here. Yep. Upper Falls Pool. Giant pipe here we're walking over. So I guess this is the upper falls, since the other one's been the middle upper falls, or just the middle falls, I don't know. That's what I get for not doing my research before I come out here. Oh hey, we have railroad ties. Clearly we're on the right track, no pun intended. Or possibly pun intended, I don't know. I cannot reliably comment on my state of mind at the time I may have made that. Whoa! Oh, where'd that come from? So this is the either Northern Pacific or Milwaukee Road trestle over Whatcom Creek near Blodell Donovan Park. Lake Whatcom was a major thoroughfare for both coal and later timber, which needed to get down to Bellingham itself to be shipped out to the rest of the world. And typically, especially in the early days, the commodities would be brought in by train, or excuse me, by boat from across the lake. Before the railroad was built, they would load coal cars on barges, load them while they were still on the barge, and then bring the whole thing back to a car float at what's now Blodell Donovan Park, which was the site of the Blodell Donovan sawmill. There were 2 rail lines built up here to get the commodities from the park, which is at, I don't know, I'll put a notation in, but I want to say like 600 or 800 feet elevation, down to sea level where they could be loaded on ships. And so to accomplish that, they built these 2 rail lines. They went out from Blodell, crossed the creek here, went down, and then cut kind of diagonally across the hillside, across Alabama Hill, over to where Sunset is now, made essentially a 180 and came back on the surface streets around, I want to say like Puget Street in that area, and then eventually into downtown. The NP yard was kind of in the alley where the Whatcom Transit Authority bus barn is now, and the Milwaukee yard was in the middle of Railroad Avenue, which is oddly enough why they call it Railroad Avenue. So I'm not sure which of the trestles this is. I'll have to look it up when I get back home, but this is one of them from the top, and as you can see, there's actually even still rail there, which tends to make me think it's probably the NP, which would have been in service quite a bit later. I don't think that line was abandoned until the 1970s, whereas the Milwaukee Road line, I believe, shut down a fair while earlier. That was special.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, well, is there a way down over here? Not really. Well, the good news is it's easy from here. There's a shelf right here. So if you just come straight down over this fern.
Really?
Yeah. Other hand, other hand, other hand. There we go. You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. That was
special.
that was even more special.
That was even more special. I have no idea where my pager went now.
You move and I cut. Okay. Oh my god.
Well, I sure hope we got that on film.
I will be money.
Yep.
As long as nobody died, that's the main thing.
Yep. Nobody ended up in the hospital. Piece of something here. Some part of the bridge. One of those reinforcing plates there. It's got a big square washer on it. So we're right off the end of the bridge from the trail. We found this fenced off thing. Ow. With, I don't know if you can see it, but assorted valves in there. I assume it's probably like an intake for the water treatment plant. That's probably what it is. Because it draws from this creek and the treatment plant's down that way. There's some rather ornate valve assemblies there. Zoom in on it. Another one back there. So yeah, I assume these are the intake valves for the water treatment plant, but can't actually be sure. That one's chained shut. Chained anyway. So coming around the south side, I guess, of the trestle. You can see that just sort of ends right here. And up there would be the continuation of the right-of-way up to the Blood Donovan Mill, probably about where Mill Wheel Park is. And right there is the hill we fell down. Yeah, that one, right there.
That's the one.
That's the one.
Hey, did it off.
Yeah, I thought about that. Think I could run across the creek and find it before it... So, at long last, we're back at the Derby Pond, having done a loop around all three sets of falls to the trestle, fallen down the hill, lost a pager, generally made fools of ourselves, gotten completely covered in mud. Yeah, I'd call that a good day.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Well worth it.
Well worth it. So, we'll see you on the next one. Or maybe I'm just completely talking out my ass. That's a real possibility too.